Hello YouTube blogosphere. My name is John Igarashi. I am an attorney in California with over a decade of legal experience. The disclaimer I have to give, of course, is that this video is for informational purposes only. It's not legal advice. Every situation and every jurisdiction is different. So if you have a legal case, you should probably consult with an attorney in your jurisdiction. However, I do think that the information here is a good place to start. So this video is probably going to be a two-part series. This first video is going to be about applying for unemployment benefits in regard to the new federal CARES package. The second video will be for those situations where maybe your employer has done something shady to try to prevent you from getting unemployment benefits. That is a concern where state unemployment benefits are involved because, in general, an employer has to pay the unemployment benefits back to the state. And so a lot of employers don't like to do that, and so they will try to find ways to prevent you from getting unemployment. So the big news is that the federal package dramatically expands the group of people who can apply for unemployment benefits. Before it was just W-2 wage earners, but now it's business owners, people who are self-employed, independent contractors, a combination of independent contractor, wage employee, and people who have exhausted their unemployment benefits under the state program. All of them are now potentially eligible. And this is true whether you're furloughed only temporarily or if you're permanently terminated. So what is a traditional W-2 wage earner? Those are people who work, go to a job, and get paychecks and pay stubs. In regard to these new categories of people who can apply for unemployment benefits, they wouldn't get the normal state unemployment benefits, but they can apply for the federal package through the state. And the state will determine whether the applicant is eligible to receive those federal benefits. If you are a W-2 wage earner, and you do qualify under the state program, you would be able to get the benefits available under your state program as well as $600 from the federal program. If you are not a W-2 wage earner and therefore you don't qualify under the state program but do qualify for the federal program, you would only receive the $600 per week. And that amount is through July 31st, 2020. Now, of course, there still are criteria even under the federal program that you need to meet, and you should check to make sure that you are eligible for the program. I'll put a link below to the California EDD Federal Assistance Eligibility Requirements. In addition, if you're still unemployed after the state benefits run out after 26 weeks, there's a separate federal PEUC program, the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Program, where you can get an additional 13 weeks. Now, one thing that I should clarify is that there is a separate stimulus package occurring. That's the $1,200 you may have heard about. That is separate and apart from this unemployment compensation supplement that the federal government is providing at this time. So here's kind of a pro tip. If you've worked for more than one state in the last 18 months, you should definitely check to see which state provides the greater benefit. All states do not provide the same amount of benefit. Some states are greater, some states are less. In California, the benefit is between $40 and $450 per week, depending on how much you earned. In some states, like Massachusetts, that amount is $823 per week, and even more if you have dependents. The amounts are all over the map, state by state, so you should definitely check to see what amounts are being paid by the particular states in which you worked. Some states are as low as $240 per week, so it could definitely be a detriment if you were paid the lower amount. Another thing to check is the duration of unemployment benefits. Most states, including California, provide 26 weeks. But some states provide lower, some being 16, some being 12. So you should check that, especially if you think that your period of unemployment is going to be greater. I'll put a link to an unofficial resources page below that keeps a general tally of state-by-state amounts and durations. So now you're asking, how do I apply for these unemployment benefits? Well, you're going to apply for both programs through your state's unemployment insurance program. For W-2 wage earners in California, you can do that now. You would get your $40 to $450 per week of state benefit, along with the federal $600 per week. The bad news for those who are not wage employees, which are the business owners, the independent contractors, the self-employed, and those who have already exhausted the unemployment benefits under the state program, is that there has been a delay in implementing the federal program through the California system. So we're in a waiting, holding pattern right now. The state is saying that they're waiting for direction from the federal government. The upside is that there will be some degree of retroactivity, meaning you'll be able to get some benefits for the time period before you applied. And California has waived the 1-week waiting period that is normally applicable to unemployment benefits. My understanding is that all 50 states have waived waiting periods to the extent that they had them. The delays have been a particular hardship on Californians because California has a lot of gig workers, and California was one of the first states to implement the stay-at-home order as early as March 19th. So documentation is going to be easy to collect for W-2 wage earners because they can just collect their pay stubs and their W-2s. It's going to be harder for the other categories of people. Now, even though folks other than W-2 wage employees are waiting for California to implement the federal side of the program, it's a good time for everyone to start getting their documents together. And that could be 1099s, copies of checks that you were paid with, bank deposits. And as a last resort, you'll probably be able to swear out a declaration or affidavit as to the amounts you were paid. And my guess is that these types of details are things that California is waiting for more direction on from the federal government. My understanding is that a few states outside of California have already implemented the combination state and federal application. I'd be curious to hear what people's experiences are in different states and states other than California. So if you could, please drop a comment below. If you've been through the application process and either been denied or have received benefits, I'd be curious to know about the application process, including the federal supplement and what kind of experience you had. So to summarize, first, if you're a wage employee, you should be applying as soon as possible because you're already able to document your income. That is going to be the problem for other categories of people because until the federal aspects are implemented in the application, there's no way for those people to document their income. But what those people should be doing is keeping an eye on the EDD California Unemployment Insurance website. Because as soon as it's implemented and they start taking applications, of course you're going to want to apply as soon as possible. I will put a link below to the EDD website. Then, if you've worked in 2 or more states in the last 18 months, you should file in the state that is most beneficial to you. Third, because your benefit amount is based upon the amount of income that you earned, you're going to want to document all of your income. If you don't document some of your income, you may be shorting yourself and your benefit amount may be less than the maximum or than you otherwise would have received. Finally, document everything you can, meaning first, of course, the documents that prove your income, but also screenshots of your application process, of your file claim number and such, because later on, if there's a snafu, you're going to want to be able to reference those documents to show what you submitted and when. Well, all right, thank you for watching. I hope I was able to provide some useful information. I think this channel will have a lot of useful information in the days and weeks to come. I'd appreciate it if you could like the video, subscribe to the channel, and maybe even hit the notification bell. And that way you'll be apprised of when I put out new videos. Thanks.